So welcome to my living room. Hello to your living room. It's this together, not together, but this is as good as it gets right now. So let's start lying down. And as you come to lie down on your back, bend your knees and take your feet as wide as your mat. Let your knees knock in so they rest on each other in the center. If that's uncomfortable, feel free to have your feet hip width and same with the knees. But generally, feet wider and knees knocked in should feel like a nice widening position for your lower back. Then take your arms up overhead and grab hold of opposite elbows. If that is uncomfortable, if the forearms aren't resting on the floor over your head, then simply slide your arms out to cactus, or even as simply as having your arms down by your side is totally okay. Once you feel settled, close your eyes or settle your gaze on the ceiling and begin to tune into your breathing. Really see how low and deep you can take your breath. So see how quiet your upper chest can be and how much you can really receive the breath in your belly. So that with every inhale there's a rise, every exhale a soft descent. Notice how quickly things can shift simply by tuning in and changing your breath. Now for those of you who have opposite elbows clasped overhead, switch the cross so that your other forearm is on top. And as you take these long, slow, deep breaths, allow everything that is touching the floor to get a little bit heavier. And place your awareness into all of the parts of you that are connected to the floor. The soles of your feet, the length of your back, the weight of the back of your head, the weight of your arms. And see if you could, with every single exhale, allow gravity to take you just a little bit more deeply into the support of the floor. Take your arms now and reach them straight back behind you. Reach your legs straight forward in front of you. If you want to interlace your hands, go ahead and do that. Have a full body stretch. And reach fingertips to toes. If your hands are gripped, release that. Bend your knees one at a time. Start with your feet on the ground and then lift your shins up one at a time into a tabletop so that they're parallel to the floor. Take your hands now and place them right on the very fronts of your thighs. Push strongly with your hands forward and pull with your thighs in. And press the whole length of your spine into the floor, especially your lower back, so that you even feel a little hint of a cat spine, a little hint of the tailbone curling up. So you should feel now a whole lot of strength wrapping around the cylinder of your trunk. So keep that. Keep the push of your hands and thighs into one another. Leave the left hand and the left leg as they are. And as you breathe in, reach your right leg and your right arm as far away from center as you can. With your exhale, bring them back together and find the same push on the right side and then switch. Inhale, left arm and left leg move away from center. Exhale, they come back. And then continue that on your breathing. Inhales to reach and exhales to come back to center. And really the idea of this is to keep the cylinder of the trunk corseting in and pressing down. It's really not about how far the arm and the leg goes. So keep pressing the whole length of your back, particularly your lower back, into the floor as you're extending arm and leg. Let's do one more each side. And you should start to feel a real flicker of heat building in your abdominals. But after this one, land your feet on the floor, right underneath your knees, arms by your sides. And although this is familiar to you as a bridge, think of this as actually not a back bend. So plug your feet in, plug your arms down into the floor, and start thinking about rounding your back, specifically your lower back. And with that rounding, begin to lift your hips up away from the floor into a glute bridge and roll yourself up. Think no back bend. Really think hip extension. So use the backs of your legs to elevate your hips and to iron out the creases on the fronts of your thighs. Now find a little bit more activation in your hamstrings by pulling your feet back towards your shoulders and lift a little higher. Keep thinking even of a posterior tilt in the pelvis or a tuck, or think of a cat spine tilt in the pelvis. Now reverse that movement by rounding yourself down so that you touch your upper back and then your middle back. And could you actually round so much that you touch your lower back to the floor before your bum? Once you get down, relax, have a breath. And then one more time, plug your feet in, your arms down, think rounding your back, roll yourself up into a glute bridge, bone by bone. Find the height, the peak, lift of your hips, pull your feet towards your shoulders, lift a little bit higher if you can. Keep thinking tuck of the tail forward and up towards the backs of your knees. You really should feel the backs of your legs working strongly. Then put that all in rewind, roll down. How slowly can you go? Keep pulling your feet towards your shoulders as you land, top, all the way down to the bottom. Once you land, relax. Bring your knees into your chest. Grab the backs of your thighs and you work your legs any amount towards straight. Draw the toes down towards your face as you kick the heels up. If it's nice for you, go ahead and let your bum lift and round your back as you pull your thighs in towards your chest, just like you would in a seated forward bend. Then rebend your knees. You can rock and roll a few times. If you'd rather roll over to sit up, feel free to do that. Find your way up to a seat. You can either sit kneeling on your heels, or if you have a block, take a block and sit on it. Place it right in between your feet. If neither one of those works for your ankles or your knees, then sit cross-legged. Get your head above your heart, above your pelvis. Relax your arms down by your sides. And as you breathe in, lift your arms all the way up over your head. Interlace your fingers, put your right thumb on top of your grip, and just go straight up. Lift the whole circumference of your rib basket up and away from the heaviness of your pelvis, sinking down as if you were being pulled into. Down through the lower body, up through the spine. Another breath in. Side bend over to the right as you exhale. And then once you get over there, stay on the right, but start to round your back like cat spine and twist. Bring your left shoulder a little bit more forward in front of you so that you're rounded, you're twisted down and to the right. Breathe deeply into the left side of your waist, into the left side of your back. And then on your next inhale, come back up to the center. Switch the lacing of your hands and go over to the left side as you breathe out. Once on the left, round, twist, right shoulder forward, breathe into your back. Use an inhale to find the center. As you exhale, bend your arms wide into a cactus shape, and see if you can do this at first without a back bend. So keep your spine vertical and your front ribs pulling in. Angle your forearms back behind you so that as you look right to left, you should see your wrists start to moving back behind your elbows. Now keep that same feeling. Plug your seat down into the block or into your heels and begin to curl your chest plate to face more upwards. So you extend your upper spine. Get as wide open as you can from elbow to elbow, really from hand to hand. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, bring your forearms to touch if you can and round your back. Draw your elbows down and in towards your navel. Again, inhale, think wide open cactus arms and a back bend. Exhale, draw in and round like a cat spine, widen your shoulder blades. One more time, inhale, open wide, you can gaze up, and then draw inwards as you breathe out. Now go open again as you inhale, and see how open you can stay as you bring your hands to touch in front of your heart, and exhale, close your eyes. Connect the base of your thumbs to the base of your sternum. Rest your forearms against the lower ribs, and get as soft as you possibly can, as effortless as possible in your upright seat. If you like to set an intention or dedication, you can do that now. Let's exhale together. Take a deep breath in. You feel your rib cage expand 360 degrees. And then as you exhale, contraction and drawing from the outside back in. So Do that again. The pulse of the breath, expansion on inhale, like a big balloon, and contraction on exhale. Release your hands down to your thighs, blink your eyes open, come off of the block if you're sitting on one or your cushion, and come to your hands and your knees. Be right up near the very top of your mat, and organize your shoulders to be directly over your wrists, your hips to be right above your knees, either toes tucked or pointed, that's entirely up to you. Take a few rounds of cat and cow. Use your inhales to create a back bending shape, and your exhales to create a rounded shape. Now, see how much you can actually communicate with the entire length of your spine in both of these movements. And you'll notice parts of your spine that really like to back bend, parts of your spine that really like to round. So see if you can create a deeper connection with the parts of the spine that aren't necessarily so inclined to move in the way that you're trying to direct them. Now, the next time you get into a rounded spine, into a cat spine, stay there. And in this rounded spine, we'll start to move a little bit more slowly through some articulation through the back. So stay as rounded as you can, but just start to think of your sitting bones beginning to tilt up. So a back bend begins right at the tailbone, and then you'll start to arch your lower back, and then the middle of your back, and then the upper back, and then eventually your head will lift, your throat will open. Now stay here in this back bend. You're just breathing at a normal pace. Start at the very bottom, just reversing that wave of movement. So tuck your tail under and begin to round first through the lower spine, the middle spine, the upper spine, and then the neck, and look inwards in cat pose. Now do that twice more at your own pace, really trying to communicate with each and every joint up along the spine, so that it's not just this sort of mindless movement into a hammocked back and a rounded back. It's a real tool to connect you with each and every one of the vertebrae. Find your way into a neutral spine. Tuck your toes. Without changing a thing, in neutral spine, hover your knees just an inch off the floor until you feel that same stability that was required of you when you were lying on your back with your hands and your thighs pressing into one another. Now keep that much stability through your trunk as you step one foot back into a plank pose and then the other foot back into a high plank. And if you need to modify anything, please feel free. You're in your living room, you do whatever you want, but here that could be knees on the floor. With this measurement of hands and feet set exactly as they are, lift your hips up and back into a downward facing dog. And if you like to pedal your feet out, go ahead and do that, lowering one heel for a breath or two at a time, and then the other. Find yourself right in the center if you're moving around. Have at least a little lift of your heels, at least a little bend to your knees, if not a big bend. Lift your hips way up and see how much distance you can create between your hands pressing forward and down and your sitting bones lifting back and up. If you can keep all that, start to work the tops of your thigh bones farther back and farther up and your heels down in the direction of the floor. Take a few little steps forward, so walk your feet up slowly towards your hands and keep the feet the same width as they were for downward facing dog, so hip width apart, and eventually you'll find yourself there right at the top of your mat. Get your belly and your thighs to touch. Doesn't matter how much you have to bend your knees to do that, but hang down over your legs. Drop your head completely. Really allow the weight of the upper body to rest down on the legs. Keep as much of this idea of a hang as possible, and with your knees bent, roll yourself up. So round yourself up, bone by bone, arms dangling, head dangling. And then eventually find yourself standing right up at the top of your mat in mountain pose. Reach your arms all the way up towards the sky. Interlace your fingers, put your right thumb on top. Stretch as long as you can in the vertical axis, so press down through your legs, go up through your trunk, up through your hands, deep breath in. With an exhale, side bend over to the right. Bend your knees a little bit, and like you did sitting, round your back and twist your left shoulder forward and breathe into your lats on your left side. As your fist presses one way, press the left side of your back ribs the other way. Use an inhale to come back up through the center. Switch the lacing of your hands and exhale, go left. Bend your knees, round your back, turn your right shoulder forward, and breathe into the right side of your back. With an inhale, come back up to center, forward fold, exhale, touch the floor with your fingertips just on the outer edges of your feet. Halfway lift, inhale your heart forward and your thigh bones back. Exhale, fold. Lengthen again on your inhale. Step your left foot all the way back as you exhale to a long lunge. Make sure your feet still stay on train tracks so that your pelvis is right in the center of your mat. Your legs are out on their own sides. Now look forward, think length, and add a twist of your right arm up towards the sky. Grab the back of your head in your right hand. You can be on left fingertips or left palm if you'd rather. And as you twist open, think a little back bend. So curl your chest up towards the sky. Really let the head be held by the hand. Take another inhale as you are. As you exhale, twist down. Bring your right elbow towards your left elbow. Some of you might even touch, and stay here and round your back and spread your shoulder blades. Then on an inhale, twist back, open, straighten your arm and reach for the ceiling. Exhale your right fingertips down to the floor. Begin to straighten your right leg as much as it'll go within reason. This is where blocks or some sort of prop under your hands will be helpful for some of you. Flip up onto your right heel if that's available to you. Have a softness to the right knee so that it's not locked. And with your right heel on the floor, drag your heel back energetically so that the leg doesn't actually move, but there's all of a sudden this engagement and work in the back of the right leg so that the hamstrings are strengthening as they're stretching. I'm really digging this little out of alignment move. So wag your hips a little to the right until you feel something different than you normally do. So you're out of this typical alignment, but it feels so good over there. And then try the other side. So wag your hips over to the left. So now the toes, the right toes are probably pointing right. Keep that same drag so you're working strength as well as stretch. Then bring it to the center. Bend your front knee again so that you can plant your hands and step back into a plank pose. Place your knees on the floor in plank. And different than chaturanga, slowly lower your forearms to the floor so that your elbows land directly under your shoulders. You're on your forearms and your knees. Notice that you're probably in a back bend. So for a sec, with your toes tucked, hover your knees and find the stability needed. Keep the stability, tap your knees down, and then re-straighten your arms till your shoulders come forward over your wrists. Now with that same stability, lower again, forearms to the floor. One more time, straighten your arms so you think no back bend. Then land your forearms all the way down. Keep them down, join your hands in prayer, and with your toes tucked, lift your knees, lift your hips, do dolphin pose, which is essentially downward dog on your forearms. Same lift of your heels, bend of your knees. And instead of thinking distance from hands to sitting bones, think elbows to sitting bones. So press your forearms forward, lift your sitting bones up, push your chest back towards your thighs, and breathe. Now keep these same arms, lower your knees, point your toes, do child's pose, but take your prayer hands up and back between your shoulder blades. Walk your elbows forward if possible so that the stickiness of the mat can grab the skin of your elbows and drag your chest back. And straighten your arms, roll up to sitting on your heels. Slip your fingertips right behind your feet. Now look down at your legs and without a back bend, so think just like you've been doing, without a back bend, just lift your hips up, almost like you did in that glute bridge, and think just hip extension, so no back bend to start. Now keep that feeling in the pelvis, but now do start to extend your upper spine, so curl your chest up, look forward or look up without just dropping your head back like dead weight. Keep your chin slightly in towards your throat. Take another deep breath in. As you exhale, sit on your heels, grab your knees, round your back, lean back just like cat spine but sitting, and widen your back. On an inhale, stand on your shins, lift your arms up towards the sky, step your right foot forward as you exhale to a lunge. And before you go so deep, pull your front foot and your back shin together like magnets until you feel a buoyancy and a rise in the posture. And if you can keep that, go ahead and bend your front knee more deeply. Now without back bend, cactus your arms wide to the side and do that same angling back of your forearms so you find a little more external rotation of your shoulders. Then start to curl your chest more upwards, lift your gaze. For your last breath in here, stretch your arms up to straight and spin your palms to face in. Lower fingertips as you exhale. Step right into a halfway lift on your inhale right at the front of your mat with hip width feet, and then full down as you exhale and drop your head. Roll up or hinge up if you'd rather. Lift your arms on your inhale. Lace left thumb on top. Go to the left side first as you exhale. Leans, bend your knees, round your back, and twist your right shoulder forward. You've been here before. Rise up on your inhale, switch your grip, and go right as you exhale. Bend your knees, twist and round. With an inhale, come on up. Full forward, exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. Right foot back as you breathe out, lunge. Get steady in the lunge, make sure you're still on train tracks. Gaze forward, twist your left arm up towards the sky. Bend the left elbow, grab the back of your head, and really pull the head up and away from the neck. Twist open and back bend. Another breath in. Twist down as you exhale and round. Left elbow comes towards right, maybe even touches round. Now twist back up on inhale, straighten your arm, reach for the ceiling. Lower your left fingertips as you exhale. So begin to work your legs in the direction of straight. Insignificant or not whether they straighten, but if you can be on your left heel, do that. Unlock your knee and then drag your heel strongly back. Strengthen the back of your leg. Wag your tail a little bit over to the left until you feel more in the inner back of the leg. And then try the other side, wag it over towards the right, and keep the pulling of the left heel. Then bring yourself back to center, bend your right knee, a little different on this side, turn to the right, walk everything to the right and straddle. Line up your feet in a straddle, then walk your fingertips forward, like you're doing a downward dog in your upper body on fingertips, but with super duper wide legs. Keep your hips right in line with your ankles. You'll know that they're too far forward if you can't lift your hands. So try it, hover your hands up off the floor. You'll have then your hips set right in between your ankles and then just land fingertips. Start to bend your right knee, do a little lateral lunge. And as the right knee bends, lower the left inner thigh. Nothing else needs to change. Use an inhale to find the middle and an exhale to switch sides. Bend your left knee. Lower your right inseam. And just like you would in dog, walk fingertips one way as your sitting bones lift the other way. Then find yourself to the middle and pause. Walk your hands under your shoulders. Take a breath in, halfway lift. Turn to the front of your mat as you breathe out and pivot to a lunge. Now step to a plank pose. Take a breath in. Lower your knees to the floor as you breathe out. Remember here, core is turned on. Stability in your trunk as you lower your forearms to the floor. One more time for now. Straighten your arms, shoulders over the wrists. And then again, land your forearms. Keep your forearms down. Bring your hands together in prayer. Dolphin pose. Lift your hips and press your chest back. From the anchoring of your forearms forward and down, use your leg strength to lift your hips up. Land your knees, child's pose, prayer hands up and back between your shoulder blades. Wiggle your elbows forward, pull your chest back. And straighten your arms out in front of you, roll up to sitting, slip your fingertips behind you, look down the front of your body, and without a back bend, just elevate your hips, do hip extension. Think tuck of the pelvis under, and then extend your upper spine, back bend. Take another breath in. Sit on your heels, grab your knees, round your back, spread your shoulder blades wide, tuck your chin in. With an inhale, stand on your shins, lift your arms, step your left foot forward as you exhale to a lunge. Before you go low, pull the back shin and the front foot towards each other. Go upright in the spine without back bend to begin. Cactus your elbows wide to the side. Take up space and width. Angle your forearms backwards. Curl your chest up. Lift your gaze. And then for the inhale, straighten the arms, reach up. Lower your fingertips as you exhale. Step forward, halfway lift, breathe in. Fold forward and breathe out. Rise to stand, roll or hinge, lift your arms, lace right thumb on top. Go to the right side bend, bend your knees, round your back and twist left shoulder forward. Come up as you inhale, center, and then go left as you exhale, bend knees, twist and round. Rise up on your inhale, everything on the breath. Dive forward as you exhale, touch the ground. Halfway lift, breathe in. Left foot back, breathe out, lunge. Look forward, twist open, right arm up, inhale. Grab the back of your head as you exhale and hold it. Twist up, inhale, back bend. Twist down, exhale, round, elbow to elbow. Again, up, breathe in. Down and in, breathe out. Last time, in and out. As you open again, reach the arm up to straight. Right fingertips down. Exhale, straighten your legs. Come onto your right heel. Stay there, wag your tail right on your inhale. Then wag it over left and exhale. Bring it back to the center on your inhale. Bend your front knee to a lunge on your exhale. Set your palms flat, plank pose as you breathe in. Knees and forearms down as you breathe out. Different. Take your right leg straight back, toes on the floor as you inhale. Follow with your left leg, forearm plank. Exhale. Pull your forearms back, pull your toes forward. And the more you pull, you might get a little shake going on. Keep your head up, look a little bit forward. Then walk your feet forward, lift your hips up, dolphin. If you can keep your hands wide, try this time. If your hands need to come to touch, also fine. Little rock this round, shift forward, touch, and then push back. Forward, think shoulders over elbows, and then chest back towards legs, exhale. Stay there, lower your knees, child's pose, prayer hands, have a breath. Then straighten your arms forward on your inhale. Roll up to sitting as you exhale. Slip your fingertips behind a little more smoothly. Lift your hips up. Inhale your chest up. Sit on your heels as you exhale. Grab your knees and round. Stand on your shins. Lift your arms and breathe in. Step your right foot forward as you exhale. Lunge. Go right to cactus arms. Lean your forearms back as you inhale and back bend. And just pause as you are and breathe out. Straighten your arms, inhale, reach up. Lower your fingertips on your exhale. Step forward to a halfway lift, breathe in. Fold down, exhale right into yourself as you breathe out. Rise up on your inhale, lift your arms, lace your hands, left thumb on top. Go left first, exhale, bend your knees, twist and round as you side bend. Rise up on your inhale through the center and switch. Exhale. Come on up, breathe in, forward fold, breathe out. Halfway lift, inhale. Right foot back as you exhale. Twist your left arm up as you breathe in. Grab the back of your head as you exhale. Now twist up, inhale with a little back bend. Twist down, exhale with a little rounding. Again, inhale, up and open, and exhale, down and in. One more time, in, go up, exhale, go down. Now twist open, inhale, straighten your arm. Left fingertips down. Exhale, straighten your legs. Wag your tail left as you breathe in on your heel if you can. And then wag it over to the right as you breathe out. Bring it to the center on your inhale. Bend your front knee as you exhale. Walk to the right, straddle dog. Walk your hands forward as you breathe in. Bend your right knee as you breathe out, lateral lunge. Straighten your right leg on the inhale and take it over to the left with your exhale. Center, breathe in. Just have a pause here and breathe out. Walk your hands under your shoulders. Inhale, lengthen, halfway lift. Turn to the front of your mat as you exhale to a lunge. Step to a plank pose. Breathe in. Lower your knees and your forearms as you breathe out. Take your left leg straight back on your breath in. Follow with your right leg, forearm plank as you breathe out. Now stay in the center, breathe in. Option, drop your heels to the right, make it a twist, and breathe out. Center with your heels, inhale, and switch, they go left, exhale. Inhale to the middle, walk your feet forward, exhale, dolphin pose. Shoulders forward over elbows, use an inhale. Chest back, exhale. One more, inhale, little rock forward. Exhale, back. Lower your knees, child's pose, a breath. Reach your arms forward on your inhale. Roll up to sitting as you exhale, fingertips behind. Roll up and back bend, breathe in. Sit, grab your knees, exhale, round. Stand on your shins, inhale your arms up. Left foot forward as you exhale and cactus in the lunge. As your forearms dial back and your foundation hugs in, you go up and back. Then straighten your arms up, take an inhale. Lower your fingertips and exhale. Step forward, halfway lift, breathe in. Fold forward and breathe out. Rise to stand, inhale, reach up. Bring your hands right to your heart as you exhale and pause. Take a deep breath in. Release your arms down and breathe out. As you reach up, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. Step your left foot back as you breathe out. Step your right foot back to a plank pose, inhale. Lower all the way down to the floor as you exhale. Point your toes, hover your hands, and as you inhale, lift your chest. Now keep the back turned on as you add your hands on the floor, pulling back. Cobra pose, one more inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale, 5 breaths. Lift your heels up, breathe in. Bend your knees, exhale, look forward, step, step, or jump lightly to your hands. Lengthen, breathe in. Fold down and breathe out. Rise to stand as you inhale. Reach your arms up, lift your gaze up. Pull your hands down through your heart as you exhale and return them down by your sides. Same thing, reach up, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Halfway lift, inhale. Right foot back first as you exhale. Left foot follows, plank pose, inhale. Lower half or all the way, chaturanga perhaps, exhale. Upward dog or a cobra, inhale, lift your heart up. Downward facing dog, exhale, lift your hips up. This time, different. Look forward, shift a little bit forward in the direction of a plank. Bend your knees just a touch. And see if you could begin to bend your elbows and hover your forearms just an inch off the floor. You can certainly do this with your knees down. You've done it before. And then land your forearms, relax your head, look back towards your legs. Dolphin pose. Bend your knees, look forward between your hands, and could you at the very same time push your hands down, straighten your arms down, dog. Okay, one more time. Look forward, shift forward a little bit, bend your knees, corset your abdomen in, hover your forearms an inch off the floor, and then land. Relax your head, lift your hips, dolphin pose. Lower your knees, child's pose. Take your arms back by your shins, rest your forehead down, allow your shoulders to drop and get super heavy and droopy. And then like you've been doing, roll up to sitting, slide fingertips behind you, take a back bend on your inhale, hips up, heart up. Sit and grab your knees as you exhale, round your back. Stand on your shins, lift your arms and inhale. Step your right foot forward to a lunge as you exhale. Tuck your back toes this time. Lift your back knee about halfway up to straight so that you can keep the bowl of your pelvis more upright. If you can keep that and work your back leg straighter, go ahead. Bend your elbows wide into cactus again. Lean your forearms back and keep that feeling in your shoulder blades as you grab hold of opposite elbows. Pick with your hands the arms up. Take the arms back, curl the chest up, perhaps even a little bit of a back bend here. Then straighten your arms up, come more upright on your inhale. Lean forward as you exhale, sweep your arms back behind you, place the weight in your right foot and fly your back leg off the ground. Warrior three, you can keep your right knee bent, make your top leg straight and lift your chest. Then lower your fingertips, standing splits, and lower your left foot. Hip width from your right, forward fold, grab opposite elbows now with gravity on your side. Get your belly and your thighs to touch. You keep opposite elbows only if it works for you. Bend your knees and back bend up to chair pose with opposite elbows. Lift up. Then as you inhale, straighten your legs, straighten your arms, reach up. Another breath in, forward fold, exhale, touch the floor. Halfway lift, breathe in. Left foot back as you exhale. Spin your left heel flat, side angle pose. You're welcome to do right forearm to right thigh or hand to floor if you'd rather, inside or outside the foot, but sweep the left arm up and over your ear. With your right arm and your right leg, press them into one another to help widen the right inner knee, but also give you a point of leverage to twist your ribs more upwards. Look up. Then look down, lower your left hand a little bit in front of your shoulder, lift your back heel, go to the outer edge of your left foot, side plank. The right foot can go halfway back to modify, or you stack the feet as you reach the right arm up towards the sky, option to gaze up. And then find your way right into a center plank, organize your hands well, your feet well. Come to your tiptoes on your inhale. Lower all the way to the floor as you exhale. Spider your fingertips wide onto the floor outside of your mat. Point your toes. Roll yourself up. Do finger stand cobra. Inhale. Lower it down on your exhale. And narrow your palms. A regular cobra. Breathe in. Right back through child's pose. Exhale, roll up to sitting on your heels, slip your hands behind you and back bend, hips up, heart up, breathe in. Sit and grab your knees, exhale, round your back. Stand on your shins, inhale, lift your arms, step your left foot forward as you exhale, lunge. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee halfway to straight with the bowl of pelvis upright, straighter with the back leg if you can keep that. Opposite elbows to begin. Angle the forearms back, then grab opposite elbows the way that feels a little bit strange to you. So the other forearm is in front and back bend. Let's go straight arms on your inhale. As you lean forward, arms sweep behind, exhale, and prepare airplane pose. Place the weight in your left foot as you fly up through the right. Keep your chest up so that you're soaring as opposed to nose diving. And then do lower fingertips through a standing split. Uttanasana, right foot hip width from left, fold, opposite elbows, the way that feels a little weird. The opposite elbows, they might stay. If it's too much, forget about it. Bend your knees and back bend up. Chair pose, Utkatasana, opposite elbows. And then stand up, straighten your legs, straighten your arms, go up, breathe in. Fold in half, breathe out. Halfway lift, inhale. Right foot back as you exhale. Spin your heel flat, just like a warrior 2 foot, side angle. Forearm to thigh, unless you're working hand to the floor inside or outside or on a block. Right arm up and over your ear. From the right foot plugging into the floor, reach your right fingertips as far away as possible and spin your rib cage up and look up. Have a look down, lower your right hand in front of your shoulder, lift your back heel as you spin to the outer edge of your back foot, side plank, the left foot goes halfway back as the left arm goes up, or some of you will stack your feet, full side plank, perhaps even gaze up past your left thumb. And find your way to a center plank, get organized, shift forward, breathe in, all the way down, breathe out. Fingertips wide off your mat, point your toes, roll up, breathe in. Come on down as you breathe out. Narrow your hands, regular cobra, inhale. Child's pose, stay there as you exhale and either sweep the arms back by your shins or stack your palms as a little pillow underneath your forehead. Roll yourself up to sit. If you happen to have a block, grab it. You could also use a water bottle or even a book to have in between your hands. Place the prop, whatever you have, right near the front of your mat, and then take your hands and grab the sides of the block, lower your forearms to the floor. Stage 1, and you may all just even stay here, it feels really nice. We'll take a wide knee child's pose and holding onto the block, point the block up and back between your shoulder blades. Again, you can walk the elbows forward as you take the block back between your shoulder blades. Now you can certainly stay there if you're enjoying that. For some of you who may want to practice being upside down on your forearms, you're at home, so you have plenty of wall space around you should you like to go. I really love to hold the block in between my hands as I do this. Ground the forearms to the floor with the elbows directly underneath the shoulders. I'm feeling zero pressure that I'm on video right now, so we'll see. Success rate of this, let's say about 60%. So from here, you tuck the toes, lift the knees, lift the hips, and you can stay in Dolphin. Feels great to have a block in between your hands. From there, you might take the shoulders over the elbows without them coming in front, so keep them right on top. Walk the feet in. Next stage from there is simply to lift a leg and stay here and practice one leg lifting, a few breaths on each side, or you take little hops. The bottom leg is the one that springs, the top leg is swinging up and down, and you might even find a little hang time in the air. Perhaps even both legs up in the air, or you're using the wall. Do your very best. I'm doing my darndest to take the back bend out of this pose as I continue to talk to you. And then when you've had enough of that, slowly lower yourself down in either a child's pose, or I just love to sit with my eyes closed, upright. And it's a real challenge to be still. You can slow your breathing, which is your most direct route to your heartbeat. And feel as your breath slows, your heartbeat starting to slow. If you're in child's pose, roll up to sit. Shift your hips over to one side, sweep your legs out in front of you. Bend your right knee in, open your knee, almost like you would in a tree pose, but really open it wide to the side and point the right foot instead of flexing it. For some of you, if you're really flexible, you can work this leg straight, but another option is to bend this left knee and like side angle, hook the left shoulder inside the knee. Set the left hand down, reach the right arm up and over the ear. You can also take the right hand and hold the back of the head if you like. Some of you who are working a straighter leg may even work the right hand to hold the outside of your left foot. The left hand can also feel nice on the outer right thigh to help ground the right hip as the whole right side gets a sweet little stretch. And you lean back and turn your chest more up as if you were trying to do a back bend. And then as you come up from that, take a breath in. Plant your right palm behind you, behind your right hip about a foot as you exhale. And as you lift your hips, sweep your left arm up and over your ear and give your left side a little love as you plug your left foot down and reach your left fingertips way back. And sit your hips back down. Slide your right leg out in front of you and switch sides. Bend your left knee, open it wide to the side, turn your whole torso towards the bent knee. If you did on side one, bend your right knee and hook your right shoulder inside your knee to give you a little leverage as you swim your left arm up and over your ear. Perhaps you hold your head. Perhaps the right leg is straight, some of you, and you're holding the foot and taking the right hand to anchor the left hip down. Use an inhale to come up. Take your left palm to the floor behind your hip as you exhale and lift up, hips up, swim your right arm up and over your ear and reach your right side body long. And then sit yourself back down. Take your left leg out in front of you. Start with your knees quite bent and your feet wider than you would for a regular old forward fold. Not quite as wide as it would be for happy baby, but a similar sort of feeling. And get your belly and your thighs to touch. Get your knees right inside your armpits. Grab hold of your feet in your hands. And we'll turn this into a variation of Paschimottanasana. And you can certainly stay here. You might even want, if you have a block or a couch cushion to prop your head, you can. From here, some of you may wiggle your bum back if you can keep the fit of belly and thighs, of knees and armpits, and then find that same rest. I'm going to place this block underneath my forehead. And then really the practice gets effortless from here. So a few deep breaths here, sinking the weight of the upper body into the legs, the weight of the legs into the ground. And keep slowing your breath. Can certainly stay in this fold for as long as you like. It's a beautiful place to rest. From there, your next and final destination is Shavasana. So when you feel ready to roll up from the fold, all you'll do is roll yourself down onto your back and make any last little adjustments. You can put little pillows or blankets under the backs of your knees or on top of you to get as cozy as you possibly can in your living room, and have a really sweet little rest.
so much, everybody. Please take the time to rest for the next few minutes. It's been a pleasure being